just overusing it to kind of let her know. Now I'm going to send her back the other way. Send her back the other way. Anytime she's got that attitude, we just work a little harder. So here's that attitude again. More attitude. More attitude. And so as long as she has attitude, I'm just going to keep sending her away. So this ain't, well, it was milder, so I'll be milder. I just touched her. I didn't want to touch her, but it did touch her butt, so hopefully it was light enough to where she's not going to take offense to it. Now I'm going to have her go. So my body's asking her to turn and look at me. So I'm going to have to turn and put my body into her shoulder so that moving forward is what's being asked. And so I'm going to ask her to stop. Going the wrong way. So I just kind of let it touch her gently, and I might even let it touch her gently again, and again, and I missed her that time. So here, I'm not asking anything of her except to stand still. So I want to tell her to stay put. Got all this attitude. I'm having a conversation. Yeah, slowing down. So I'm going to slow down. So I'm going to pick it up and swing it. Pick it up, swing it. Pick it up. And I'm going to go overhand with it. And I'm just watching for her expression. If she looks at me hard-eyed, I'm going to keep going. But if she looks at me soft like that, I'll stop. Because I don't want her thinking she threatened me and made me stop. Because that'll just give her confidence enough to attack again, you know, and we don't want that. And so here I'm gonna take that. I want to try and move that hip. And I want to take that front end this way, not to the fence. So as she goes to the fence, I'm going to push on the hip. Okay? Because from what I can tell, it's going from the left side, going from the right side to the left side, or straight on trying to send her to the right, putting energy into her left side. That's where the biggest trigger is for her. So, here I want to. So maybe I'll stand this way. She's starting to think that direction. I don't have a lot of swinging room, but I don't want to go in. There we go. I don't want to go into the fence. So if she goes to the fence, I go to the hip. So the more attitude she gives, the more energy I use, but I'm not going to touch her with it. I'm just letting her know I'm going to match you. Whatever you do, it would be nice if you'd just match me. So if she settles, I'm watching her ears, I'm watching her posture, I'm watching how travels, speed. So she's kind of, oh, now she's speeding up again, flipping her head. And so she thinks, so she's slowing down. I'm going to slow down. So I might let her stop here. She thinks I'm still asking for movement because I'm using the stick. But what I want her to understand is this is just an amplifier for what my body's saying. Don't pay a whole lot of attention to the stick. Listen to my body. And so if I come over here and I turn my body over here, I'm asking her to go in that direction. Now she's going the wrong direction. So I'm going to push on that hip. Going the wrong direction. Okay, so we let her go. So we let her get angry all she wants, and then reward her for softening up. There it is. She's getting a little pissy, so I'm going to start swinging again. Get angry all she wants. And then we reward her for softening. Get rid of that. There we go. There we go. There's attitude, so we start using it some more. And again, I don't want forward movement. She's taking it as that because of the stick. She'll figure it out soon enough, but we got to get her over this not wanting to think about anything other than attacking before she'll even start trying to find what our intention is. So I'm facing her in a way that she's going, so I'm saying, all right, if you're gonna go, this is what we're gonna do. She hears it hitting the ground. We just respond to the floor behavior. This isn't even what I want. You're choosing. Right? You know? Okay, so she seems to be just traveling now. Ears up. A little bit of head toss every now and then. So I'm going to let her stop. She's not even trying to understand the request. And so if you don't have that in a dominant horse like her, she's going to fight back. And a really terrified horse all they're gonna do is panic and freak out. So you have to have mental engagement, but she's got to have an attentiveness that's willing to seek out attention, right? And she won't have that if all she's thinking about is how do I fight against it, right? And she might think she's doing the right thing by running circles, at this point, because the average trainer, it's pretty vague what they do. They run them in circles, back and forth, inside, outside turns. Some of them won't even do outside turns. And really, that's the extent of it. They don't, so, for me, if I'm doing this, I want her to turn around and face me. Now, what is she doing? She's going that way. But you stay right there. You are untrustworthy. So, I'm going to be prepared. Now, I'm not asking her to move over. I'm asking her to move her hind end. There. Good. And so, I'm going to keep her away from me. And I'm going to ask for that hind end to move. Now, we got a little bit of attitude. I'm talking to that hind end. So, I'm going to just keep talking to the hind end. If she gives attitude, then I use more. And I say, really? You want to do this? Okay. Not what I wanted to do. But I'll oblige you. So we'll just keep doing it until that attitude disappears. And I'm just staying at a level that I know is maintaining this until it changes. When it changes, it'll go away. It's starting to change, so I'll slow up. Give her a second here to chill out because I want her to understand I don't want her to work hard. Mm-hmm. I want to work intelligently. Mm-hmm. This is not, I don't want to create a more physical combatant.
Right.
Right? I want to work mentally. And so here, when I come over here and I talk to that hind end, if it doesn't go, then I might. I'm talking to the left eye. I'm talking to the left eye. I'm talking to the left eye. Just thinking about attacking. She was expecting to get hit right there. Mm-hmm. That's where that squeal comes from. Mm-hmm. Talking to the left eye. So right there, by me touching her the way I did, nice and gentle, just kind of say, hey. And just kind of swing it up there and just kind of graze her with it, where it doesn't hurt. And I'm just saying, hey. Can feel good. It doesn't have to hurt. We can be gentle. All you got to do is think quietly and be responsive and respectful. And the only time I run a horse like this is if they're aggressive. She's aggressive. Otherwise, I would prefer they stop. So I'm going to try and get her to look at me so I can quit her. everything needs to be done loose from a distance. Because on a rope, she feels even more restricted, and it's worse. So we got to get rid of it. So here, I want to talk to that hip. I want her to move that hind end over. She's gonna leave. I'm just gonna stay here and make sure she does not go put me in that right eye. Stay right there. Stay right there. Okay. So I want to try the same thing from the right. Yeah, from the right eye. Just want her to look at me. Okay, so she's got a little bit of attitude when the string starts moving. So I'm just gonna flop it until I see a good expression. I'm talking to the hip. I'd like to see it move. But even if the hip don't move, as long as the ears get better or the eyes get better, I'll stop. Because I gotta work on those thoughts. Those thoughts gotta change. Because if she's thinking the way she's thinking, nobody's safe asking anything of her. Because if she gets that feeling that, oh, they asked me something, oh, and if I don't do it, they're gonna, we can't have that. That's gonna get somebody hurt. So here we got a little bit of, right? There we go, that's better. But she's not looking at me, so. Good. Good girl. No, that is not a good girl. 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 Only because I got the stick in my left hand and it's hard to deter that thought right away. She's really looking like, stand right up to her. Really trying to get that hip. She's bending okay, but we can't get the hip to move. So maybe I'll come over here and get better access to the hip by seeing if I can't get this hip to move. I don't want her to go anywhere, so I'm going to step.
Why don't you move?
Let her know that whatever I do is directly related to what she's doing or what she's thinking. So here, I can come here, I can talk to that hip. Understand? She's pooping here. There we go. All I want is an acknowledgement. And for her to just try to understand what my intention is. Because right now, what she thinks my intention is, that's not accurate. And so I prove her right if I get after her for any bad behavior. So I want to work in an area that I don't have to really get after her, but yet if she gives me higher energy or pissiness, and I just increase my energy to match hers until it goes away, then I can communicate through intensity. And so I don't know if you noticed, but I'm working my way back. And I don't really want her to go forward, but I don't. Good girl. That's what I was looking for. Hind end. You stay put though. Don't come walking all the way in. You are not trustworthy enough yet. Sorry. Okay, and so now we got her in a good spot where I can continue working on this right side. And I want to kind of stay in front of her a little bit. And this is the position that she always puts you in when she doesn't want to go left. I mean, my left, her right. So if I try to send her this way, the first thing she wants to do is go that way. Now, when I'm in there just walking around, she'll transition through and then I can push her through. But with the tool in your hand, she goes to this, gets that head up, and keeps wanting to go that way. So this, whatever this is, it's part of what's going on. So we got to get to the bottom of that by, from here, with a tool, being able to get that. But we also want to be able to do it with a little bit more intensity without getting resistance or a fight back. You know, at the moment, if flipping it works, that's what I'm going to do. Attitude right here, so we're just going to keep pushing backwards. I don't want to, nope, you're not going to, I don't want to change. So here I might talk to this hip right now and make sure she doesn't put me in the right eye. Talk to this hip. Stop her from going forward. Okay, so if she wants to be goofy, we'll just do this. I was in your left eye. Thank you very much. So here, when I flip this side, it's just to stop her from going. See that posture? The head goes out and the shoulder comes in. So she wants to protect with that left shoulder instead of bending, right? And so she wants to leave. I'm just going to make sure she keeps me in that left eye. Keep pushing energy on that hip until I get that hip to move. Wasn't much, but it moved over. Stay put. Stay put. Stay put. Stay put. Stay put. Okay, so I'm going to draw the eye. Push the hip. Push the hip. Draw the eye. Push the hip. Push the hip. So she's going to go. Then I'm just going to kind of reach right up there and touch it. But that juncture. All I want is for her to look at me. But I'd also like to see that hind end move. Like what? But at this stage, if she looks at me, it's enough for a reward. So here I want to talk to that hip. And I want to really focus on that hip. And I want her to know that I'm looking at the hip, not the shoulder. Because if I look at the shoulder, I'm going to send her forward. So I want to look at the hip. So, and my movement is actually drawing the shoulder so she doesn't go away. So if she leaves, I might swing it up and touch her. I'm going to try and stop her right here again. Really push on that hip. Stop that front end. Push on that hip. Stop that front end. Push on that hip. She looked. Hind end move. Hind end move. So I give her a nice break. Nice reward. She needs to understand this is just a conversation. It's not a battle. And it doesn't need to be a battle. I'm on that side, she doesn't want to do it. So, see this attitude right here? I'm just going to keep, I might flop it. So I don't want her going, but the only way to stop her now is up there in the building, so I'm going to let her keep going until I get her next to a fence, and then I'm going to keep pushing on the hip and try to stop the eye. She goes, got the look. Girl, stay there. Stay there. So I'm going to put energy into her face so she doesn't try to move that shoulder, and then I'm going to put energy into the hip. Good. So I'm going to do the same thing in this direction. Energy into the face, pushing her away. Stay right there. Now to the hip. Good. Stay. Ah. Don't you. So I don't find her trustworthy, so I don't really want her anywhere near me. And so now I might just kind of toss this up on her and just let her feel it whenever I can let her feel it. Like even if she, so even like right here, I might just kind of toss it. I'm ready to do a full swing, so when I come up I can come down and come over if need be. I'm ready for that, but I just want her to feel how this can feel good and not sting. It's just gentle. I want her to understand that the only reason this will hurt is if you try to hurt me. Got a little bit of something going on in her head right now, so I'm just gonna kind of tell her to stay over there. That might be a bug causing some problems. Okay. So now I'm gonna talk to that hip and ask her to turn and look at me. Using it with enough aggression to get a response if she's not going to do anything. And then if she does something, stay there, stay there. Okay, so I'm going to stay right here and keep that shoulder and face over there. And I might flip this to kind of talk to that shoulder a little bit, but I don't want to touch her with it yet. Intention. We don't want to hurt you. To be more on that left side, so you keep your distance. Girl. Want her to know I want to be on this left side. I'm going to use as mild an energy as possible, but as much that is necessary. So I really want to be able to get like 90 degrees of that shoulder. And right now, probably 60 or 70. So here, I know what my flip is capable of, so I can touch her without hurting her. She took it as a go. That's fine. The energy was going that way, so I'm gonna say go. That's fine. So I'm gonna ask her to stop over here. Nothing painful, nothing aggressive. No. So right there, I'm holding. So here I might flip it, take it off, flip it, take it off, flip it, take it off. And the more I can do stuff like this, that doesn't hurt, it doesn't scare her, like she's thinking, she's like, oh, I don't know, right? We don't know. Now it just bounced off her. Right? And so I'm probably going to quit in a second, as long as I get a little bit cleaner ears and her eyes are softening. So I might swing this up under her a little bit, let her feel that. Then I'm going to let it come over. And I know that was sort of aggressive, but there was no force to it to where that string could hurt her. So, and again, I'm under, and then this is the overhand. And she's used to that overhand being something a little bit more painful, maybe. So the more she understands that it's nothing to be worried about. Okay. I'm gonna quit now. We'll walk out.